broke his neck and was paralysed. He knew he'd spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair. But for him, it wasn't the end, it was just the beginning. He's since raised thousands of pounds for charity and been awarded an MBE. And recently, he's returned from an epic journey across Kenya in a battery-powered quadricycle. Here's the story of that incredible expedition. Andy Walker was a fit young man who lived for adventure and the good times.
Sorry, I'm the best man, not the vicar.
But a dream holiday to the sun-soaked beaches of Goa in India turned into a nightmare that would change his life forever.
A beautiful sunset, the water looked so inviting. I'd done competitive swimming throughout my entire life, and with nobody else in there, I thought, what an opportunity to take a little dive before we had some supper. And I remember walking in from a standing start, and I dived into the water, and at the point that I hit a rock or a sandbank, my life changed dramatically and I broke my neck.
Andy was left paralysed from the neck down. This was the hospital he was taken to. Doctors there didn't think he was going to make it, but he did. However, when he returned to the UK, he was told he would never walk again.
It's a high-level spinal cord injury. It's left me basically without the movement of my 4 limbs, tetraplegic. So my fingers, my toes, my arms, my legs. To me, the physical side of the injury was a major challenge, but what the actual challenge was, the fact that it's the mental challenge, it's what's going on in your head. The spinal cord has no prejudices. It doesn't matter what class of person you are, how rich you are, poor you are, what your background is, your attitude is, your culture, that you've got to live together and deal with it. And it made me think about, you know, what I could get up to for the rest of my life. And it's the same dream that I have to this day.
The accident happened in 2006. After spending 8 months in a spinal unit, Andy vowed he'd spend the rest of his life helping others.
No matter how crazy your dreams might seem to be, to anybody else, does that matter to you?
He set up Living Your Dreams, his own motivational speaking company, inspiring people of all ages to make the most of life.
Living your dreams is exactly what it says on the tin. It's that every day of my life I wake up and I'm living a dream. Like, the gift of life is an amazing thing, and it's tough life at times and it's a roller coaster, but we can get through it.
To date, he has raised more than £200,000 for charity, and last year he was awarded the MBE for his efforts.
Are we ready? 3, 2, 1.
He doesn't let his disability stop him from attempting anything. But last year, he decided to embark on his toughest challenge so far.
Brilliant.
He joined a group cycling 400 kilometres across Kenya, except he was making the trip in a battery-powered quadricycle, steering it with nothing more than his chin.
Now, I didn't have a clue what I was getting myself into. Now, it's hard enough getting the hand cyclists around there, and the hand cyclists are amazing human beings, but to add to this a quad bike with a chin control was, for so many reasons, a logistical nightmare.
Setting off on the first day of his journey, Andy admits he was absolutely terrified.
Scary. I mean, I hadn't been in the bike, so I'd literally gone up and down the car park, and next thing I'm cycling on a rural and urban road, and I have never been so petrified in all my life. It was a cold day, so I was freezing because I can't regulate my temperature, and I'm thinking this is the worst possible situation. But I just started to get into it, and my confidence built. But I wasn't going to let anyone know that I was frightened in case someone stopped me cycling.
From the outset, Andy and his team faced a major challenge. 4 of the 6 batteries required to power the quadricycle failed to reach Kenya in time.
We knew that we had to set off earlier because we needed about 3 to 4 hours of charging times. So that's 2 problems. Number 1, you're setting off really early, and that meant that we were going separately as a team from the major group. And the second problem is, where are you going to charge batteries in the middle of Kenya? You know, I mean, there was no plan to where to do it. So I just said, we'll sort it along the way. And that's exactly what we did.
Because they had to stop to recharge the batteries, they got to meet Kenyan people they would never have otherwise met.
And we stopped in some of the most obscure, rural, bizarre towns it was amazing.
Look at this, it's a Bob Marley bike. We never give up. So this is a fantastic place to stop. We've just seen this amazing guy with this piece of kit. He should be part of our team, by the way. Tell him he should be part of our journey.
There was also the problem of the devastating heat.
The bumps have stopped, but the heat is relentless.
For me, that situation would be like being put in a spacesuit twice, being put in the middle of a sauna, and then putting that sauna on a beach. And that's how it feels with a high-level spinal injury in the heat.
And progress wasn't always as smooth as he would have liked.
Very, very bumpy.
Potholes is no escape from some of the road conditions in Kenya. I mean, some of the systems were far better than we thought. But yeah, I mean, my body literally took a battering. The pressure on your neck, your chin. You know, I felt like I'd done 5 rounds with Tyson Fury.
Jumbo!
One of the biggest physical challenges of the trek was negotiating the steep gradients of the Rift Valley. But it was also one of the most rewarding.
The Rift Valley was the most amazing, beautiful. The sun-laden day, the weather was perfect. We were told that it'd be drenched. We went regardless of any of that, and as it happens, the day was just amazing. What people sometimes perceive as the biggest challenges become the biggest opportunities to shine. The best bit about the whole trip was definitely the local kids. I mean, flipping it. First and foremost, you've never seen more beautiful, enthusiastic. You know, some of these people have never seen anyone like Western people, and all of a sudden you see one driving a quadrix with a chin control, and I'm not a quiet character, so I was doing spins for them, and they just loved it.
But Andy was also moved by the poverty he saw and remembers pulling over for one child in particular.
This kid looked at me and he didn't ask for a chocolate, he asked for a pencil. And you just think, you know, why should a 7-year-old kid need to ask for a pencil? It's just unbelievable. It hit me so hard, and that was tough.
He also visited an orphanage for street children, a visit which had a profound effect on him.
Some of these kids were born into families were begging. They were from families who abused drugs. They themselves were drug addicts. Some of them as young as 6. We met one chap he was in my heart from the start, because he actually was the only kid who had a Man City top on, and he took us around the orphanage, and it was such a basic facility, but they provided food, irrigation, fresh water, education for these kids.
Now he's determined to add the orphanage to the causes he wants to support.
It's a question that's been rolling around my mind since I returned, that, you know, what can we do to support those kids? You know, sports is a big thing in my life and opportunities, but they just need basic facilities.
5 kilometres to go, guys.
When the epic adventure was over, Andy reflected on another remarkable achievement in his own journey.
I'd never cycled anything like that distance before, but we'd done it, and I believed inside somewhere. I had my doubts, and it's just the most unbelievable experience, but it gives you so much self-belief to believe that I can achieve so much more, and I hope it inspires people.
Respect, mate.
And I want to go further. That's it. I want to share my story with as many people as possible. Just do what I do every day, wake up happy and be thankful that I'm still living the gift of life.
Saba,
Nani,
Nani,
Tisa,
Tisa,
Kum.
Kum.
What an inspiration, and he has made such a difference to so many people's lives. Well,